Hi folks, my name is Jen, and today we have a slightly casual background again. We're going to be talking about winter vibes. So yeah, today's video is going to be about how the season's been, the vibes, the things that I've been interested into. Full disclosure, I already actually filmed this, but A, the lighting was absolute shit, and B, I rambled for far too long, and in the interest of not presenting yet another hour-long video for you, I'm just redoing this. So normally with these vibe videos, when I go on and on about the things that I have been into over that current season, go by the senses, the 5 senses. So starting off, we are going with hearing or listening. What have I been listening to? Well, December, January, and February differed quite a bit in things that I was listening to. So of course in December, what I listened to a lot of was Christmas music. Much to my husband's chagrin, I think, sometimes. One thing that I really listened to a lot of in December, besides like your regular tunes, I also ended up listening to a lot of lo-fi, Christmas lo-fi. I'm really having a good time with that and enjoying that overall, and that pretty much continued into now, not Christmas lo-fi, but lo-fi in general. It's just, it's a genre of music that I tend to listen to when I just want to chill out. You know, I see it as jazz sometimes. Jazz is a very chill music for me. It's something that I put on when I want to focus on writing. Usually when I'm focusing on writing poetry, when I'm working on my other projects, I have specific playlists that I make for those projects to get, like, you know, the creativity going and to keep my brain focused. But usually when it's like poetry, or if I'm just doing like something else, I'm just like chilling or reading or whatever, I'll probably put on some jazz. Lo-fi has now been incorporated within that as well. I don't really have any particular lo-fi artists. It's mostly just playlists that I pick depending on the mood. I have a couple of favorites on Spotify. One of them is Sunny Morning one. There's an ocean one that I really like, but that I tend to listen to more in like the summertime. Yeah, pretty much whatever mood I'm in, I'll look for the right playlist. There's an anime one that I really enjoy sometimes. So as far as jazz goes, yeah, a lot of it. I like jazz at any time of year, but especially in the fall and the winter. It just feels extra cozy to me. My favorite jazz musician is probably Coltrane, but I'm also a fan of Dizzy Gillespie and Miles Davis and Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald. So, yeah. As far as other things I've been listening to, let's see, music-wise, while my standard is Beatles and Yellowcard. Those are they're my favorite bands, so they're two of what I listen to a lot of frequently. I recently did a complete re-listen of Yellowcard's discography again, and that included their new like little album that they just put out, and it's like covers of their songs that they did with the band Hammock, which I have never heard of Hammock before ever in my life, so that was fun too. I think I like the album. I mean, I enjoy it. It's very interesting, but to be completely honest, the kind of dreamy, whispery, like dream poppy kind of stuff is not really my thing, so I don't really enjoy the album as much as I enjoyed like their remix of Ocean Avenue that they did with what is his name, Steve Aoki, I can't remember how you pronounce his name, but the remix that they did recently with him, so cool. And I like all of their other albums a lot, but I mean, it's still Yellowcard, so still pretty good, but just not up there on my favorites, I guess. Now is about the time when I usually start listening to Aurora a lot more, and that's been pretty standard. I actually just did a full re-listen of all of her discography too, and yeah, I don't know. She has the voice of an angel, so I just love her. So I've also been continuing my looking for what emo, like, screaming music I am okay with. Still, so far, we'll say Pierce the Veil, Bring Me the Horizon, and some of Sleeping with Sirens. Enjoying. Most other things, not so much. But still going through stuff. My husband actually just got me into I the Mighty. He said, hey, this is a band that I think you will like, because they scream a little bit, but not a ton, and I think you would like their music, and he was 100% correct. I fucking loved it. I've listened to, so they have like a bunch of EPs and like singles and stuff, and they have like 3 main albums, and I've re-listened to those albums about 3 times in the past week. My favorite one is their last one. Unfortunately, it looks like they broke up a couple of years ago, which is sad. Their last album that they put out, and like the big official one that they put out in like 2017, that's my favorite of theirs, and so far the song Degenerates, I have listened to that one probably the most of everything. I don't know what it is about it, but just something, like, not only is it speaking to me emotionally, but the music, the crazy things that are happening in it, like, scratches some kind of musical itch in my brain that I need, and I just love it. I love it. I haven't, like, I mean, there's been stuff that I've obsessed over, like songs I've obsessed over. In the past couple of years, there's been a couple of albums I've listened to on repeat, which is not really like me. I tend to jump around a lot, but this song, like, listening to it and just I don't know. It's hitting me like Third Eye Blind used to hit me when I first moved out on my own. I don't know what that is exactly, but yeah, I'm loving it. I the Mighty is really good, and you should check them out if their kind of style is what you're into. And let's see, anything else I've been listening to? A little bit of classical composers and stuff like that. My husband and I recently were talking about like who our favorite composers are, and I kind of broke it down to where I think my favorite composers, so I have like 3 that I think are technically counted as classical. So it would be Johann Strauss, Chevalier, the Chevalier, and Aaron Copland. And then I also have more modern composers. I know Aaron Copland technically counts as like more modern, I guess, but I think he's more in the, if you're gonna be snooty about composers, he's in the classical vein. But by more modern, I mean like movie composers. I absolutely adore Hans Zimmer. He did music for Pirates of the Caribbean, and among a bunch of other things, but that's the most recognizable one. John Williams, who's done the music for fucking everything. And also Alan Silvestri, who, by the way, did the music for Back to the Future, which I absolutely adore. Otherwise, podcasts. I've been listening to the usual ones. My brother and me, Real Life Ghost Stories. I have a bunch of other, like, paranormal and true crime ones, and She Done It, and, like, stuff like that I try to keep up with on the reg. And then I have a couple of others that I'm, like, making my way through slowly that I'm still listening to. I recently started listening to 2 more bookish ones. One is the Books Unbound podcast, which I actually knew of several years ago because of the, like, reading rush and, you know, having watched Ariel Bissette's videos and stuff like that. I knew of it, but I just never actually gave it. It was one of those things where I was like, oh yeah, there's that, but then I never remembered to actually check it out. So I actually started listening to it, and I find it fairly entertaining. They do talk about a lot of the same books all the time, but they have mentioned several others that are of, like, actual interest to me. So I've kind of marked them on my big list of, like, oh shit, actually that sounds like a really cool book, and I enjoy when they have, like, guests on and stuff like that. It's pretty entertaining. And then I also started listening to Poetry Unbound, which is hosted by Patrick O'Tuma, and he is an Irish poet. And it's similar to another podcast that I really love, which is Interesting People Reading Poetry, except in Poetry Unbound, Patrick reads someone's poem, like a poet's poem, talks a little bit about the poem, like breaks it down, and then he might talk a little bit about why it has meaning to him, why it was selected, relating back to something. He might even give some background on the poet, so you have more context as to what the poem is about, or like little things that are within there, and then he will read it again. So you can like think about it now that you know a little bit more about the work itself. And it's a very soothing podcast. He has a delightful accent, and I just really like hearing more poetry overall, and hearing poetry broken down a little bit more. And it's just very cool, and I'm learning more. I'm finding like a couple more poets I haven't heard of before, and I'm like, ooh, I actually really, that's beautiful. I really want to check out more of their works. So pretty cool so far. I've only recognized one poem so far, which was like the very first one they did, which was or maybe it wasn't the first, maybe it was the second, I don't know. It's what you missed in 4th grade when you missed like a day of school, or that's not the title, but it's basically the title's around that. And I read that poem before several years ago, but yeah, everything else has been completely new to me, and I've been really enjoying it. Moving on, we see sight. So watching. What have I been watching? Well, the usual YouTube, trying to keep up with things. I am so far behind, so I am sorry if I haven't been socially engaging that much, or checking things out. I have like 20 tabs open on my laptop right now of videos that I started watching or videos that I plan on watching, and I just have not gotten to them yet. I've been a little ball of stress lately, so it's just been hard to sit down and actually do that. But I'm hoping to spend more time on that soon and catch up on things. Other than that, I was watching a little bit of stuff about authors that I really like. Just interviews with them, or videos about them. I found a little, two things it looks like. It's hard because I don't know if it's the interview is part of the documentary or if the documentary is separate. It's a little bit confusing, the videos that I found, but it's Lloyd Alexander, so there's like a little visit at his home and like an interview with him, and then there also seems to be a documentary about him. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if the interview is part of the documentary or not, but I plan on watching both of the things, so I guess I'll figure that out. And then I've also been watching interviews with Stephen King. I've been chronologically going through interviews that I find and watching those. And part of that's just for pure pleasure. And the other part of it is because I mentioned in my 2024 goals is that something that I want to do moving forward is maybe devoting like videos here and there to authors that I love and really admire, and kind of talking about them and their work and what got them into writing, and maybe talk a little bit about what my favorite like work of theirs is and stuff like that. So I got little bits of that I'm kind of working out right now by just kind of watching these videos. One Piece, not faithfully watching. I've been watching bits and pieces with my husband. He's been binging the shit out of it. But ridiculous. Actually, I really like watching Britcoms, and I just finished watching one of my absolute favorites, which is Keeping Up Appearances. And I used to watch them because when I was growing up, PBS would have them on like Saturday, would be Britcom day, and they would have like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours of Britcoms or something like that, and then it would end with like Lawrence Welk reruns or some shit. I don't even know. So I'd watch all of that. And I I realized when I was making my way through the Keeping Up Appearances episodes that I've seen some of the episodes multiple times, but some of them I had never seen before, but it was so good. I loved that show so much. It's so freaking funny. I finished watching that, and now I am starting a watch of Are You Being Served, which is another of my favorite Britcoms. And I realized I just finished watching the pilot episode, and now I'm going to start into other episodes, and I realized that I've never actually seen the pilot episode before. But the first season, just from the titles and stuff, I'm remembering them. I'm like, oh my god, I love that episode. So I know I've seen at least the first season in all of its entirety from those reruns. So that'll be fun. But that's a slow process because I don't really watch as many things as I used to, because I have like YouTube stuff and writing workshop and my writing I'm focusing on, and other things I like to do, and also reading at some point, squeezing that in. So I don't really spend as much time watching things as I used to, but I try to squeeze in things here and there. As far as anything else, let's see. Touch, which I translate into things that I'm doing, things that I'm up to. Well, I had a lot of crafting that I did around the holidays, as per usual. Did a lot of those. Maybe I'll flash up some things so you can see examples of stuff that I did. I made ornaments for people as per usual. I have started making these like hollow book scenes for people, so I made a couple of those. I made my mother It's a Wonderful Life one. I made my sister a Halloween Town one. I made a book nook, little woodland book nook one for my bestie, and I have another one that I worked on, but I don't want to share that in case the person who it's for sees it. So but yeah, so that's what I've done. And then a lot of knitting. I knitted a couple of scarves over Christmas, and I'm still knitting because I'm trying to be kinder to myself this coming winter, and working on things earlier in the year. So until it gets too hot to continuously touch wool, I'm going to knit as many like things as possible. So I'm planning on at least 2 scarves. I have some coasters that I want to knit and embroider, and I also have a blanket, like a small blanket for like a pet that I'm planning on too. So that's what I've started. I'm almost done with one of the scarves, and then I'm going to start on another one. Yeah. Well, I've tried to go on winter walks. It's been really hard here to do that, because during the week we might have good weather a little bit, but I don't really go for walks because by the time I get home it's dark out, or it's getting to be dark out. So we've been like, okay, we'll do it on the weekend. Well, guess what? No, we're not doing it on the weekend because it's snowing or raining or just really fucking freezing. So it just has not been a thing. But me and my husband, it's actually nice this weekend, and a little chilly, but not too bad. So me and my husband actually went for a walk today, and we didn't do our usual walk in the woods that we like to do, but we did walk down the road a little bit and just kind of walk back to the house and stuff, which is about, I don't know, like a mile and a half or something. So that was, I mean, wasn't the woods, but I needed to go outside more, so it was nice. But I'm hoping to be able to squeeze in more winter walks soon, hopefully next weekend or something, if the weather's not shit. Other than that, what have I been doing? Reading a bunch, trying to do videos. I was so on top of stuff, like I filmed a shit ton and I edited a shit ton. I got them all out, and then I got stressed and I just had like shit going on, so I got out of the habit and I done screwed the pooch on getting things out on time. Trying to get back into the rhythm of filming on the weekends and then trying to edit and get the video up for like Thursday, Friday, and trying to stay on top of it and maybe squeeze in an extra one here and there. So reading. I haven't been doing a lot of writing. as I've mentioned in other videos, having trouble, but I've been doing a lot of reading about writing, and that has honestly been kind of helping. I wrote one poem, which was more than I've done in a while, so that was nice. It's a bad poem. It's not even finished, but I started it, so that's something. And me and one of my besties decided to start baking. So for Christmas, I showed it in the haul. I got a couple of Great British Bake Off cookbooks for my husband, and me and my bestie just love Great British Bake Off, and we've been wanting to make a lot of the recipes for a while, so I actually just went over to hang out yesterday, and me and her made one of the recipes. And we made the St. Clement's tarts, or bars, or St. Clement's something or other. They're citrus bars, basically. They are made with the zest and juice of orange, lemon, and lime. Very lemon heavy. Very lemon heavy. To be completely honest, you can't really taste limes or oranges, but delicious. I love a good lemon bar anyway. We started doing that, and we're planning on trying to, here and there, maybe every couple of weeks, try out a new recipe. There were a lot that we were really excited about, like the chocolate babka. Guys, so good. There's like 2 different sticky toffee pudding recipes in there too. Oh man. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Speaking of good things, eating, drinking, taste, you know, that one. Since December, it's been pumpkin everything. I'm a whore for pumpkin. So, like, pumpkin pie, pumpkin cake, pumpkin cookies, pumpkin spice lattes while those are available. Like, so much pumpkin. I have not gotten pumpkined out. That is definitely something that I absolutely love, but I'm also really specific in my pumpkin. Like, I don't go for like pumpkin spice everything. Like, pumpkin spice Oreos are, in my opinion, absolutely fucking disgusting. So, will not have those, but like actual pumpkin, like, or at least the canned pureed pumpkin from the store, I use that in fuck ton of stuff. I also really want to make pumpkin soup. I've had it like once years ago, and it was so good. Bread, lots of bread. It's winter, it's carb time. Beer bread, I've made beer bread a couple of times, which is actually the only bread I make. And it's pretty good. It's cheddar chive Guinness bread. I'll try to remember to leave like a link down below to the recipe that I use, but it's delicious. And if you're scared of making bread, that's the perfect bread to make, because you don't have to dick around with yeast. It does it automatically because of the Guinness. What else? Chocolate oranges. We got a couple of chocolate oranges for Christmas from my family, and we already made our way through the dark chocolate one, which I've never had a dark chocolate. It's Terry's chocolate oranges. I've never had a dark chocolate one before. So good. I love dark chocolate, and I love fruit and chocolate, so that was great. Just finished that. I'm probably gonna crack open the milk chocolate one soon. What else? Coffee, obviously. I've been trying to be better about not going to Dunkin' as much, like just trying to save a little bit of money. Prices have gone up everywhere, it sucks. So, I've been trying to make it more at home, or my work over the past like month or so, they've started to have like an agreement with a local like coffee shop, and so we've been getting coffee every day, like fresh coffee brewed every day. So that's been pretty nice too. But I've also been drinking just a lot of tea. Peppermint is my favorite. Also, mint medley. The mint medley one is also really good. But around the winter time, I also really love this pomegranate green tea one that's delicious. And also anything with like orange, like Constant Comment is so basic, but I really love it because it's got like the orange and the spices and the different stuff in it, and yeah, it's my favorite winter tea, so I drink it a lot around now. Which brings me into scents, I guess. Cinnamon. Love the smell of cinnamon. Coffee in general. Brewing coffee is one of my absolute favorite scents of all time, right up there with pine trees. So good. Let's see, otherwise than that, oh, cinnamon again. Incense. Cinnamon incense. I burn a lot of it in the winter just because it feels very cozy, holiday-ish. And also there's this incense that I have which is balsam fir, and I'm trying to use that one sparingly because I got it specifically from Franklin's General Store in Mystic Village in Connecticut, and I'm trying to use it sparingly because I don't want to run out before I'm able to like go down there at some point. My friends and I are hoping to go to Niantic for the book barn again in the next couple of months, and I'm kind of hoping, we talked briefly about, hey, wouldn't it be fun to also go to Mystic Village again or something, so I'm hoping that we can squeeze that into the trip and I can replenish that incense, because it's, again, I love the smell of like balsam and pine and everything, and it also, just that specific incense is so cozy, and it honestly also reminds me of how my grandparents' house smells. So it's just, also, I just love it anyway. So I wanna have more of it. I'm probably gonna grab a couple of packs next time I go, so I can use it more often. That I think is everything. Yeah, I think that's basically been my vibe this winter. Trying to focus very much on hibernation. Not like hibernation, but like just trying to be kinder to myself this year. I think I was a little too hard on myself last year, both expectations and just in general. So I'm like trying to use the winter as like a reset time and a being kinder to myself and just moving with the cycles of the year. This is the time for like being inside and doing quiet things, and the hibernation are basically like relaxing, staying warm, carving up, being cozy, you know, that kind of reflection, like things like that. So I'm trying to like do that, but then also try to get outside and enjoy the winter. Winter's a hard season, and it's something that I've liked and hated at the same time. Like when I was younger, I definitely loved it, because when you're a kid, you like snow, it's fun, you can have a snow day, maybe you can go and play and do stuff. When you get a little older, it's like everything sucks in winter. I've been trying over the past few years to get back to a place where it's like, but it's, you know, at least accepting it and enjoying it while it's there. And I'm sure in March will be time to get shit done. Spring cleaning, reorganizing, hitting the ground running with being more on top of videos and stuff like that. So busy stuff, but enjoy these next couple of weeks of just like chill and calm, and yeah, the winter vibes. Anyway, that is this video basically. I don't know if anybody actually likes these videos, to be honest, but I mean, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below what your vibe has been like this winter. What have you been into? Have we been into similar things? Are there other things that you really do that make you feel cozy? Or whatever. What's been your drink of choice this winter? I will say, besides like non-alcoholic, my alcoholic drink has been your standard whiskey and hot cocoa. But I also discovered schnapps a month ago, and that was pretty good too, so. But yeah, let me know, anyway, down below, what you've been up to or whatever, or if we have similar interests. And yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for always watching. If you're new here and you would like to subscribe, please consider doing so. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend, wherever you're at right now. See you next time.